What's up, y'all? This your girl, Miss Maggie T with Atlanta Falcons Nation. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button so you won't miss another post from me. But let's go ahead and get into it. Well, we all know the infamous Julio Jones, Shannon Sharpe conversation that has been broadcast all week. That has led to a lot of uproar, some in support, some not. But in my opinion, Undisputed set Julio Jones up. I honestly felt that the call went on without Julio Jones' knowledge that it was being recorded. But at the same time, you know, we all know who Shannon Sharpe is. We know what the Undisputed is. And we definitely know that they aired at a certain time. So you have to be very particularly careful about when you're answering phone calls. And especially with the June 1st deadline occurring, you have to be extremely, careful about what you say, because the media is going to take it and run into a frenzy because all they want to do is be selfish and get the first dibs on breaking news. They want to be the first to say it, so at the sacrifice of Julio Jones' dignity, in my opinion. Now, of course, if Julio Jones was aware of it and he let it be out there, that's out of Julio Jones' character. And I think that's why it's such a outrage because, the fans feel as if he's turning his back on the team. Now, I'm all for Julio Jones, speaking up for himself. Like Arthur Smith says, he encouraged them to speak up for themselves, but handling it in a private manner is what the new regime is keeping it. And I think that's just the best way to do things, and from what it shows that Julio Jones, according to sources, already requested his trade. And guess what? Of course, the organization wasn't openly shopping Julio Jones, but they had to answer those phone calls due to the fact that, we're trying to honor his best wishes and putting his best interests at heart. But despite the fact, it's plain as day. Julio Jones is not happy with Atlanta Falcons Nation. Atlanta Falcons. And he's not okay with the fact that the new regime is optimistic about this season. They want to win now. And I guess Julio Jones doesn't agree that this is a win now league at the moment. And you have to kind of consider Julio Jones is not getting any younger. He has streaming issues with his injuries that kind of keeps him in and out of the games. But of course, even at 70%, Julio Jones is still one of the best out there. So somebody will want to pick Julio Jones up. Definitely. But does this damage his value? Now that the players know that, or the franchise and the organizations know that Julio Jones want to be out there, they may not put up much of an offer for him. And honestly, with our defense just lacking so much and this cap space going on, we can't afford not to receive something in transaction with trading Julio Jones. So we have to be smart here. And according to some sources, the franchise is asking for a first round pick for Julio Jones, but which seems kind of very high, in stakes for that, especially given his age and his contract and, the limited number of suitors for him. It might not be possible to receive that in return, but it will be nice. And then the Falcons are reluctant to trade Julio Jones without an insignificant return and have made it clear they're not having a fire sale. You know what I'm saying? So they're not openly trying to trade him, but Julio Jones wants that. I get it. I respect it. I respect the dedication he has brought to this team, but it has upset a couple of people in the franchise, and that is Arthur Blank, according to sources. It's making the latest point of tension in the relationship kind of difficult to deal with, especially in the public eye. It's deteriorating the relationship between Julio and Atlanta Falcons. And I get it. I'm pretty sure Arthur Blank is in these signings and everything else, coaching hires. Julio Jones was in the cards, and it was in the pitch for a lot of these people to come on and say yes to this team. So it's disappointing nonetheless, but it is business. It definitely is business. So either way, it just seems like it kind of started surfacing in the off season of 2019, and this, with the salary cap issues, including stress from the continuous contract negotiations in 2019. So it just seems like, according to sources, that it just kind of happened well before this season. So it's kind of an ongoing thing. So in my opinion, Julio Jones kind of been not happy for quite some time. And then I guess just with the new regime being moved in, it made it even more evident of that he is just not happy. So, like I said, I wish him all the best, and of course there's a narrative at Atlanta Falcons Nation that, we're bashing Julio Jones. I think with passionate fans, we are all just emotional and disappointed in this situation. However it's played, either it hurts when you have to hear your player say he doesn't want to be here anymore, when we invest our time and energy in supporting him, so there's no way to just say, oh, get over it. It's the passion of the fans, and they just feel hurt. I understand it, but we do respect Julio Jones. But for a player that doesn't want to be here, we have to look into the future of the ones that do and focus more on that, honestly, so, but, with this, we don't have enough salary cap space to sign our current draft picks. And Jones comes with a $15.3 million guaranteed salary for next season. So teams would usually not be so eager to deal their all-time leader in receptions and receiving yards, but that's just what's going to be. So Jones' availability on the trade market would be surprising, if it was not for Atlanta's finances. So it just business-wise, it makes sense, I hate to see it. It sucks, but it's the reality of it. And of course, head coach Arthur Smith kind of refused to comment. He fielded a number of questions regarding Julio Jones in his press conference. And he stated, players should speak for themselves, so I'm not going to comment, he said. It doesn't change anything for us. We understand what our plan is moving forward, and like I said, we have multiple private conversations with our players, and those are conversations that are going to remain private on my end. And of course, they kind of came after Matt Ryan as well. And he also discussed the rumors swirling around his teammate, and he basically said that the reality is, because of his level of success he's had in his career, this is a major story. But within your locker room, this has constantly happened to guys where you're not sure how long they're going to be there, Ryan said. It's difficult. It's the part of the job that sucks, but you have to just stay in pocket of focusing on we're all here right now. And we all got to focus on what we're going to do together right now. And another person that kind of spoke on that was Jake Matthews in his press conference. They asked him about, the things about Julio Jones and everything. And he said he really can't, he's a wonderful teammate. He loves him to death, but he has to, in the end, focus on him right now, because he has to step up and be a leader. And that's understandable. He said he has the responsibility of his players. So he has to be that person that they have to come up to and learn from. So he has to be that captain, that leader, that person is going to carry these rookies into success, and the rookies of last year too, because honestly, they had an unfair advantage with this COVID situation. So a lot of players just didn't get a good chance right up front. So even those previous rookies are still adjusting and have to learn. So Julio Jones just doesn't feel like this reconstruct is not good enough for him. He's just ready to win now. I definitely get that. So big ups to Jake Matthews, Matt Ryan, Arthur Smith, you know, Arthur Blank. They're trying to handle it with dignity, as Arthur Smith has said. He is definitely handling every situation and player with dignity privately. I understand that. I get that. So that's all I got for you guys. Let me know what you think about that as well. And I wanted to add, though, you know, and these financial constraints are hindering a lot of things, you know, because Terry and Smith believe in the current roster, and this takes the course of action, and Jones might end up getting his wish. Nonetheless, you know, losing Jones would be a blow, but there are potential offensive threats in Calvin Ridley, Kyle Pitts, that might make an emphasis on this team. Now, we have to see what happens, you know, see how this help can take some pressure off Atlanta's offensive line that's with or without Julio Jones. We have to prepare for that. But I'm all done here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me know what you think. Like I said, we are the nation, and I'm out.